Are there any other bids? Nope. But I can start. It looks like I got one bid for each property.
I've got a sidetrack there for, oh, you got one.
I have one bid for each property by the looks of it.
Whenever you're ready,
Yep. The first one is the lot off Strong Road, map 3919B. And I have a bid here from Donald Bashista for $5,100. It's 5 acres more or less. On the property located off Middle Road.
there's two middle.
Well, only one of them was advertised. It is 2.57 acres. It's landlocked. Map 36, lot 11. I have a bid from Thomas and Cheryl Bashista for $2,556.
It's 2,556.
Yep. Parcel 3 is land off Wolcott Road, 4.5 acres. It's also a landlocked piece. I have a bid from Thomas Boyle for $16,057. And then the land on Brickyard Road, I have a bid from Barry Brosco for $5,100.
What was the deadline?
It was
5 o'clock today, or?
6:30.
Okay.
I propose that we accept the high and only bidders for each lot.
Any discussion? I make a recommendation to accept the bids that were announced by the Treasurer's Office in regards to Brickyard Road, Walcott, Middle Road, and Straw Road. Second? I mean, you'll have to make the bid, I'm sorry. I'm acting chair right now.
Oh. I make a motion to accept the bids read by Donna for the lots on Brickyard, Middle Road, and Strong Road.
And Wolcott.
And Wolcott Road. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain for those.
Okay.
There are 200,000 of Brickyard.
We got, moving on, oh, it's 7 p.m. we have a taco license, so we're ahead of schedule. Warrant, we have. Bill warrant. We have bill warrant W14-14 for $157,617.33. Do I hear a motion?
Do you need a motion or a second?
Need a motion on this, I just read the warrant.
Oh. I make a motion to sign warrant 14-14, the amount of $157,617.33.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I understand that.
No, there's not, no.
Where is that one I just read?
This
One
one,
year was late.
What's
the bill warrant.
And then I have
Big one.
payroll warrant. I have one. Reggie, now that it says, okay, plumbing inspector warrant. Oh, that's, okay, so this is for the plumbing
You can sign it.
inspector. So Jackie, you can't participate.
Right.
I have warrant number 14-15 for $668. Take a motion.
Make a motion to sign warrant 14-15-3.
Is there a second?
Second. Oh, sorry.
You can't second.
Oh, that's right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Sears abstains.
Abstain.
We have a school payroll warrant. P14-15-1 in the amount of $144,307.30, and Liz cannot participate. Do I have a motion?
I have a motion.
Accept.
$70,967.
$144,000.
Okay.
$307.
I have a motion for payroll warrant 14-15-1 for $144,307.30.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Moulton looks abstains. I don't figure that's the word that in there. I have a highway payroll warrant. So this is P14-15-2. Ed cannot participate. In the amount of $22,753.90.
I didn't sign it.
I make a motion to sign 14-15-2 in the amount of $22,753.90.
Is there a second?
Second.
You can't second, you're abstaining. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Mr. Colley abstains.
Did you sign this one?
No, this is for both.
Okay.
And we have the regular payroll warrants, which must be PD1415 for $41,276.17. Everyone's been participating.
I make a motion to sign payroll deduction warrant 14-15 in the amount of $41,276.17.
Is there a second? Wait a minute. This is a payroll reduction warrant.
IFPD.
Employees should not be participating because this is, okay,
It's all lumped together.
it's all,
We've
okay.
been doing it.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry. Just cautionary.
Go ahead first.
So approved now. But there should be another payroll
There should be another one.
warrant.
Did I miss one?
70,967.
I don't know.
Is it in there?
It might be another one. That's it. That page you have in your right hand.
There's no signature. Right
You
hand?
flip it, flip the other side.
Oh, that was kind of tricky. Which number is that now? Payroll warrant P14-15.
660.
70,000, the first one.
Oh, 70,000. $967.
$70,967.01.
I make a motion to sign payroll 14-15 in the amount of $70,967.01.
Second.
Unless they broke out the highway services, everybody else, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Highway department's under expenses.
Yeah.
One of the men expenses, I don't want to take my name from there because I just noticed my highway department warrants every year.
Okay,
Okay, so I want to strike my vote from abstaining.
all right, change, let the record reflect that Mr. Colley is changing his yea vote to his abstention. Which one?
The warrant,
The one, which is
14-14.
14-14. Is this all just Tarka?
Is it?
That one's there,
Or?
but you have some Pioneer Valley Planning
Like
Commission
the
invoices.
changes.
We have an invoice number 26 from, and final invoice from Pioneer Planning Commission for the community development grants, and it's an invoice for $4,952.61.
Mike, did you close out on that?
It says final. And then there's we've got a bunch of invoices. Well, another invoice from Pioneer Valley, but it's for the master plan. So this is for final.
Make a motion to pay for services from Pioneer Valley Planning for the completion of administration costs for the FY10 Southampton Community Development Fund Program.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So this is the end of that housing improvement grants.
Right. Do we ever do, was it most of the other towns, or did we do much?
Well, we start having our participating.
Yeah.
We did it. We had a fair number of them. That was good.
No, we had the very last one.
I mean, we led, we were the lead for it. And then I have invoice number 5 from Pioneer Planning Commission for services rendered in implementation of the master plan for services from August 1st through August 31st in the amount of $1,765.08. Yeah, it's for the master plan. It represents, it's labor, it's the indirect costs, and it's the telephone and printing for the master plan that was done. Direct labor.
Invoice 5. Is that what we talked about? Invoice 5?
There's an invoice number 4 underneath, I didn't see.
Excuse me.
There's an invoice 4 underneath for July of 13 in the amount of $1,084.37, and this all goes to the master plan. This one is $495.60 in labor, $588 in indirect costs, and that's the total amount. Invoice number 5 was the printing area. There's $1,500 in printing. Do I have a motion to pay these invoices?
I have a motion to pay the invoices number 4 and 5 for Pioneer Valley Planning in regards to the master plan.
And this is July and August. Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You need something on these? Is in favor?
Yeah, just do.
Just a vote. We have a letter from, it's a letter from us to Patricia, any idea how you say that last name? Raushani, for lack of a better pronunciation. This is regarding the final report for the grant. All items, which grant is this the community development?
This is your closeout.
That is the closeout letter.
Answer Ed's question, it'll have it in the second page.
This is the closing out of that community grant where they were funding homeowner repairs, and that our report is accurate. We had 20 applicants, income qualified. 19 of the 20 were approved. We moved forward with projects 9 in Southampton, 3 in Blanford, 4 in Granville, and 3 in Montgomery. One of the 19 was pursued as an emergency. As of the 11th grant quarter, all projects were completed. Construction was completed on the last remaining septic replacement project at the end of March. Final inspection and release of retainage occurred during the 12th quarter. 17 housing units were constructed before 78. 2 housing units are exempt, built later than 78. 3 housing units built prior to 78 are exempt because they are septic only. Heating system or roof projects. 1 housing unit is exempt due to hard cost being below $5,000. Two projects appear to exceed $35,000 cap per projects. In both cases, project costs do not exceed the limit, but the registry of deed filing fees that appear in the intelligent grants push each over the threshold. In both cases, a checkbox indicating that a single case waiver was sought was checked and removed the errors in the system. And the projects those 2 projects are summarized below.
That last one was because it was an audit or something? Because it was below 35,000?
No, they were over 35 because of the final fees.
Okay.
They were budgeted at 35, and the construction costs were 35. But when they went to record the final fees at the registry, they pushed them over. So, do I have a motion to sign this final report to close out the grant?
So look at that.
Sorry about that, lady.
It's okay.
Speak up. Do you have a copy of that letter that we sent out to the town hall employees?
For the memo?
The memo for the meeting?
Sorry.
It's okay.
I was skimming. Since it was before me, I don't know what it means anyway. Would we need to sign this? Is that what we need to?
Yeah, I need a motion so that I can sign it to close out.
Yeah. I make a motion to sign the closeout letter.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And well, we have an interlude while Reggie's gone to get a copy of the letter. How many comments from the public? Robert?
Howard Floyd, 15 East Street. The Celebrate Southampton was a nice success. It was a filled memory hour, a lot of questions. Richard Frary and Judith Conlon gave an awesome presentation on cemeteries and lore and stories, and people wanted to sign up for the course. Picnic was good. We had an old antique car. We had 2 tables for information, but the evening was amazing. It was the acapella. 9 women sang, and for a good hour and a half plus food, everything. It was really cool. Very nice. So next year will be bigger and better. Thank you for allowing us.
Is that your volunteering for next year's appointment?
I'm volunteering until I can pass off the baton. Yes.
Would you like to be appointed now for next year?
Okay.
I guess we really can't do that now that I said that, because we'd have to put you on the agenda.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was.
Is it close that?
I doubt who's in it.
I don't think, actually, no, I don't think he did the last.
I don't think we did the last
No,
one.
no.
There was only one person silly enough in town to take that.
I just didn't know. I just didn't want to say no.
Well, we got a little dead air time. We had voted, I believe, at some point in time to have a meeting with our town employees to try and improve communications, and this meeting was scheduled for October 15th at 6:30 with the sole purpose of discussing improving communications within Town Hall. I sent out the memo yesterday to Reggie. We have had one negative response is that they won't come because they think it's inappropriate. I don't know whether the board wants to continue. I don't see anything inappropriate myself with trying to improve communications.
I don't think there's
There was a
anything.
memo from the finance committee, they have a conflict, they were supposed to meet the 15th of the memo I got. The memo,
They were actually scheduled for the 22nd, and then the communications was scheduled for the 8th.
Yeah, the 15th was an off week.
I know that, but I can remember John being pushing for his finance committee.
We were going to invite all the departments to come in on the 22nd so that they can talk about the finances, how you guys want to move forward with the budgets for FY15.
But can I ask a question? Was he in that loop? Because I swear he came in here one of the 15th and we agreed to the 15th.
That was that was after the fact.
He didn't come in here and talk?
Not about the 15th, no.
No?
Oh, okay.
He did talk with the budgets for the departments, but that wasn't for the 15th, that was for the
I know,
22nd.
Well, we're going to do my suggestion would be, it looks like we're going to get some pushback.
So I guess I would say that, given the circumstances, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to improve them, and if people choose not to come, then they choose not to come. And if people choose to come, then I think we've done our job in trying to facilitate some better communication.
And Reggie pointed out, I think we said it was mandatory, but we would have to pay them if it was mandatory, so I backed off the mandatory language and strongly, what did I say? Strongly encourage rather than mandatory.
I hope people would see it not as something negative, but as something positive. And, it's not about airing dirty laundry, it's about coming in and trying to figure out how we can better communicate within the town hall and make things a nicer working atmosphere.
I go along with that.
So we'll stay with our original plan. And the other thing is, why don't we, in case there is some confusion with John, I mean, I have a feeling that this may not take as long as we anticipated it taking, so John wants to check with John and see if he wants to come in that night for whatever reason. We certainly can accommodate 2 issues on an agenda night, I would think.
Oh, there it is.
John Martin.
There he
Your
is.
name was mentioned in
Man of
here.
the hour.
When do you anticipate coming to us?
Well, what we agreed to at the last meeting was 2 weeks from today, on the 15th. But when I got that notice from Reggie yesterday that you guys have rescheduled, I asked her to bring it up and see.
Well, we were just trying to, we can either leave it on the 15th and just do 2 items instead of 1,
Yeah.
or we can make it another night if you like.
No, that is fine if you want, as long as it's not too far into the
Why
future.
don't we do it on the 15th? We got 2, if we do, this meeting is set for
6:30?
6:30, 7:30 for you, and maybe if we come out, maybe 8 o'clock, would that be a
Why don't
problem?
we say 7:30, because we'll be at the first meeting too. That way, right after that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. We're just talking about having on the 15th, that's fine.
I did think that we had scheduled the 22nd too. That's what I had on my calendar.
Yeah, no, let's schedule
It
it.
was.
We
I
talked
think it was
about
kind
it.
of fluid, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe we were so fluid, everybody had a different opinion as to when it was.
No, it's on the viewing.
All right, so we're going to have that, we make the agenda,
So 6:30, 7:30, 7:30 to 8, Finance Committee.
yeah, Well, probably
30 plus.
plus,
Okay.
starting at 7:30, but if we, knowing that 6:30 may drag to 7:45 or 8, and finance will be right after, whatever it is.
That's fine.
Is there anything else? Talk to license at 7, so 4, so I called for open time. John, did you want us for anything else while we've got a little bit here?
No, it's hard to believe, but
Anybody have anything else? We can't seem to see anything that we can fill in about 4 minutes.
Did you call for open time?
I did, but I'll call for it again.
Yes. So, can I be heard on this?
You may be heard.
Okay, so, I had asked to be put on the agenda a couple of times, just regarding, oh, by the way, Lisa Broder-McGann, Chair of the Board of Health. And here is also our Health Inspector, Adam, who's present, and Dave Easthampton is also on the Board of Health. We had asked to be put on the agenda a couple of times just because we've been having some communication concerns really with, the board, so to speak, as far as issues that either the Board of Health would like to have you all know about or for us to get some information back on. And I think I had sent you directly, because I was not placed on the agenda 2 months in a row, I've sent an email directly to all the Board of Selectmen asking specifically that 3 things be addressed. 1, issues with our website, and generally issues about communication. 2, the key that I had requested since March of 2013. And then the 3rd issue is some collaboration regarding permits, because the Board of Health was remaining concerned over the fact that the Board of Selectmen were acting on things that we should know about, and some things were falling through the cracks on our end. So I summarized that in a memo. I'm not going to take a lot of time. We did get the key. I want to thank you. But I would like to ask you to keep it on your agenda. I don't want to be talking about this during just an open meeting about communications, because it's a problem. I don't see the reason for it. I've done everything in my power to try to increase the communications and have met a stone wall each and every time. Ms. Sears, Board of Selectman Sears specifically, she's trying to help us with the website, but I ask that whatever we need to do so that our information from the Board of Health gets accurately put on the website, please let me know, because we are giving misinformation to the public, and it's a problem.
I did address your website, your web information today, and it's a matter of time, and we are delayed in getting it corrected, but I guess it's not as simple as we thought or tried to make it, and it's requiring some effort on our part, and it requires someone to come into the office to take over the phones for us so that Reggie and whoever can focus on that issue. But we are trying to take care of that.
All right, well, just as, by way of communication, we have people who are capable, for instance, our health inspectors, capable of making those changes ourselves. We don't have access to it, we're not permitted to do it, so yet the things that we need to have change still remain unchanged. So maybe what we can do instead of you finding someone to answer the phones is help with that piece of it.
Let us explore that together at some point in time. I'll find out that information, whether or not we can do that or whether it's appropriate or not, and we go from there.
Okay.
Why don't you and I collaborate on that and see if we can work that.
I love that word, collaboration.
Just popped into my head.
Who's in charge of the website?
It's a shared responsibility between myself and John Fitzpatrick, who is a volunteer, who's doing everything he can.
Okay.
And John's been doing that for a long time, gratis.
And he's trying to
John
pass.
does the formatting, right? He does the formatting, and you do all
We
the...
both do.
Or him, he just does the formatting.
All right. The key you selected in communication, we're tackling, you did get our memo for next week.
If you're referring to a separate agenda item for October 15th, I was made aware of that today. The reason why we're all here today is my health inspector is not here, so if you had questions, I wanted to make sure that we could answer them.
Questions?
Yeah, I do have a question.
Sure.
Do you still have an animal inspector in town?
Our animal inspector is also our health inspector, so it's Adam. And our former animal inspector is no longer with us, and we've combined the roles, or actually, they're not combined, but we have one person serving both roles. We were having communication problems with one communicating with the other, and that's been solved now by having one person doing both functions.
Okay, and how many times a year or a month do you go out and inspect properties?
There's, if you're referring to what's called the barn book or barn inspections, that's done once a year. It's done for the state. That was done by our former animal inspector. I don't believe it's scheduled to be done until this coming winter, although I could be wrong on that. That's just off the top of my head. So essentially, that's only once a year. And that's only really a head count of animals.
Okay.
Inspections is not really animal inspections other than that barn book. We respond to complaints or attacks. And again, that's Adam's jurisdiction.
Okay, so if you do get a complaint, what do you do about it? If you find a property is not clean?
I would defer that to Adam since he's here.
It depends on the nature of the complaint. If it's a complaint about the health of an animal, it depends on the animal. But mainly what I have to do is I'm just kind of the eyes and ears for the state. So they want me to go out, they want me to assess the condition of the animal. If it is in poor condition, I have to notify the state and the MSPCA.
Okay, if it's animal waste,
Animal waste, we go out on a case-by-case basis. I check around the property. If it is something that we find is a problem, I work with them to try to figure out how they can do the proper composting or removal of the waste.
okay, thank you.
So thanks for letting us be here. And if you have any other questions, we're going to go back to our other meeting.
God bless.
Thanks a lot.
All right, and we'll see you on the 15th, or somebody on the 15th. Oh, John.
When I came in too quick, I wasn't thinking of the 15th is not the day we wanted, it was the 22nd.
That was the day
That's
you
what I
thought.
thought.
All right, so we're not going to have 2 agenda items on the, now I'm doing it, the 15th.
22nd.
We're going to have you on the 22nd.
Luckily, electronic calendar is not on.
So, all right, so that was, we were right the first time around.
Yes.
Okay.
So the whole thing will be 6:30?
Yes, 6:30.
Actually, we have a couple hearings, so I had to push back the finance committee. I didn't realize that some hearings were already posted legally, so I don't have the agenda, but I will let...
We'll send an email out with the time. Know that it's not going to be at 6:30.
Okay.
We'll have to, because of
Well,
hearings.
we'll be meeting at 6:30, so let us know and we'll just come down.
So communication things is the 16th.
15.
50.
15.
50. We're having trouble with dates.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Tarker's here.
Mr. Park is here. We're going to go back to the agenda on 7 o'clock. We have a
I did not, the yellow piece of paper is, it explains. I did not scan it in your packet, and I didn't want to have to read the packet over.
Tarka, this is a letter from Matthew J. Tarka. Mr. Tarka, how are you?
Good, you?
All right, this is a letter dated September 26th to the Southampton Board of Selectmen. Sirs, I have severed my business relationship with Joyrides LLC and Mr. Dennis Leclerc, and I am surrendering my used car license number C1102-13. Enclosed, you will find my application for a used car license as well as the $100 fee. So you're turning in one license and wishing to take another license?
Right.
.429 College Highway?
Right.
Is that the business that's on the current license? Or the address that's on the current license? In the application, he's looking for Class 2 license, buy and sell, Parker Service Center. He's a corporation. President Matthew J. Tarka, Secretary Robert Hijek, and Treasurer Robert Hijek.
Right.
Are you engaged principally in business of selling or exchanging motor vehicle? No?
Pardon?
Did I read that right?
We're engaged principally in the business of buying and selling or exchanging one of the licenses. Wouldn't it be?
Would. Well, the primary business is auto repairs.
Okay.
And do what we've always been doing. So the secondary business would be like we had before the used car license.
Thank you for the explanation. The question is not open to interpretation by reading that, but thank you for the explanation.
Mr. Clark, how many vehicles do you think you're going to store there? Or having a lot?
Have on sale probably at times maybe 3 to 5.
That's all?
If that, it's not going to be much. We just basically want to return to what we had before. Before I got in with my old boss, yes. He seems to have lost interest in it, so he's had some health issues too.
Everything's in the budget except for the paper. It's way down.
There is no. I mean, in this license, you realize it's only through January, correct?
Yeah, I realize that.
Oh my God, it's 86 pages here. Oh, well, here it is.
Yeah, do you see it? It's
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
So this is the one that's...
He's only using 3 to 5.
Well, we can certainly make that a condition of the license if there's a concern there.
If we were to put less than 10 cars, would that be sufficient for you?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, this is the old one.
I believe the old licenses never had any stipulations on how many cars. And I realize some places have stipulations, some don't.
The one you had does not have. But we can't... How big a property do you have there?
You know that area where his station is?
Yeah.
It's still a town road, but it's probably, you could hold close to 35 cars.
Probably, yeah.
Is there anyone here to speak on the license besides Mr. Taka and abutters or any neighbors? What would the board's pleasure be?
Is there, you're talking about putting a limit on the number of cars, but for a reason or just?
Just so it doesn't become an eyesore.
Yeah.
But there's never been a limit on it before?
Oh, the last license has, I don't know about ever, but...
I know there was licenses before that had limits on it.
At his place?
Not to take that particular place.
Because I've been driving by there my whole life and I've never noticed an abundance of cars. I can't imagine it would start now.
I think that that's to keep it from happening. That would be I mean, it's an annual license, so bear in mind that it's an annual license, so...
Actually, we did have a discussion on this. Wasn't there a gentleman years ago, maybe about 8 or 9 years ago, used to have a shark fin on top of his car, or used to sell vehicles out there?
This was about maybe 4 years ago. I had a guy selling, he was tied in with Jaws out of Easthampton.
Yeah.
And that was when I threw him out when I went into business with
Because I
Dennis.
think we had a limit on him, I think it was 25 cars.
Yeah.
Anyone want to make a motion?
It doesn't matter to me one way or the other, I just thought maybe it would be good to give them some flexibility, but to have it not turn into a,
I don't disagree with you, and we're just talking right now, and it's not an issue for you, it's never been an issue for you, but the fact of the matter is, it is on what I would call a gateway into town. One of the more scenic vistas is right there.
well, I mean, if you don't want to put a number on it, it's fine too.
I don't think it's a bad idea because Mr. Tarka's here, but businesses change hands as time goes on,
Oh, yeah.
as evidenced by what we're doing here.
Well, this does not count cars that are in repair.
No,
Because you'll have a dozen or so cars that are in repair, plus these 5 cars. So it could be a lot more than 10, but he's only going to sell less than 10.
Less than 10.
But he might have 10 or 12 cars.
Right, now, we are only talking about the cars that he's putting out for sale.
That's right.
Not limiting the number of cars on his property for whatever reason, but the cars for sale that he holds for sale.
That sounds like a reasonable number to you?
It's all right with me. What, less than 10?
Less than 10.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not looking for anything more.
So do I have a motion to approve the license with a stated limit of less than 10 cars for sale?
I make a motion to approve the license with a limit of less than 10 cars for sale for the Tarko license.
Second.
Any further discussion? I just noted the for cars for sale. Was there a second?
Second.
Yes.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing it none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Going your way.
You want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, we
I
can
guess we
do
should do a motion to accept the surrender of the license.
What did you get?
And it's license number 13, C11-215.
I'll make a motion to surrender license,
How about to accept this?
to accept the surrender for license C1102-13 for used car dealership license.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
No.
And hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? No, any abstentions? I'm just gonna write void across this license. When you're done, anything else we can help you with, sir?
That'll do it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hope you're there for another 35 years.
I hope so.
Did you go to Hudson? Did you go to Hudson?
No.
No, did you go to Walter?
Walter, yeah. Walter went to Hoyle. He was Hoyle. I couldn't go to Hoyle. We could either go to, at that time, we could either go to Easthampton or
Just supposed to
West.
say if you think you're going to see it.
Really?
I don't know, I heard that.
Elephant. Maybe it's, it clogs or something like elephant. It's like the
Thank you.
Thank you.
I never heard that before, that's funny.
I don't know, I could have made it up.
Yeah, the next agenda item is 7:20. I can either, if there's anything else to discuss, or we can take a short recess. Anybody?
I don't know. You're making me think I need to say
Well,
something.
I just wanted to say that I wanted to thank Mr. Floyd for his work on the...
Yes, we should have done that.
Yes, thank you so much for doing that.
There's a lot of little helpers. We didn't have a big committee, but a lot of people were into it, and a lot of people who called, they couldn't be there, and they had made other plans, but looking forward to next year. So it's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Scary time.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I was more interested in roping you into next year. I wasn't letting you get away.
I have more lined up unofficially for next year than we had for this year.
Uh-oh.
All right, is there anything else people want to talk, anything else from the public while we got anything else?
We had some bids in, recently, just informational, for the fuel tanks of the highway department. They came in over bid, but I'm going to probably make a recommendation later on to take money from machinery maintenance to pick up the difference.
Over budget.
Over budget, yeah.
How much?
10 or 11,000.
Yikes. All right. If anybody hasn't voted, they can take the next 10 minutes to vote. I'll call
Any
a recess.
suggestions on which way to go?
Not going out on that, It's 7:15, so we'll take a 5-minute recess. Here, I made a mistake of saying that this was the executive session for the building inspector, and at 7:20, but it was really scheduled for 7:30, so we waited to 7:30 to reopen, to redo the executive session. I would therefore take a motion for executive session under MGL 30, Section 21, number 3 and 5, which are 3 is to discuss possible litigation, and 5 is to criminal charge of misconduct. Do I have a motion to go to executive session?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session for stated reasons.
Is there a second?
Second.
By roll call?
Moulton, aye.
Sue's aye.
Feeling aye.
Oh, yeah.
We will be going into executive session. There is a possibility that we would be going into open session at 8 o'clock to be determined then. So we will ask the tape be stopped, and we will, I guess at 8 o'clock we'll go back on here and redo the executive session if that's warranted or not. And if it's going to be open session, we'll not make that announcement. All right?
Okay.
And ask for everybody to leave.